live. You're live. Okay. Alrighty. We are live. We are live. In stream. We are live. Okay. And, we will go live at 9:08-ish on Hill Country Patriots.com. Woohoo! I'm early. Okay, I'm gonna pull this out. From a week ago. Put it up here. Check 1, 2, 3 if you're out there listening, Bob. I doubt it, but check 1, 2, 3. Okay. What am I looking for? Last night's text. Okay, 9:05. Add. 9:20, 9:07, 9:07. That works. Out at 9:14:30. 9:15 we have 9:15 we have 9:17:30. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Matt.
All right.
You get the log?
I did. It looks pretty normal, so, and we're yeah, I was down at the bottom hour, so yeah, so you were going to give me the 30-second bit again?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Okay.
So Harley's got a guest in there, so I'm just waiting for them to clear out, and I'll pop in and
Okay.
log YouTube, and I guess we're anything labeled specifically, or have you gotten on yet?
No, I'm on, and and it's today's date.
All right. I'm popping into the studio right now. Let's all see how it turns out. I'll give you a call back in a minute.
All right. Bye. Good morning.
Oh, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you? These out of your garden here?
No, not mine. I don't have a garden this year. But my daughter-in-law and my daughter's in-laws, grandparents actually,
Uh-huh.
huge garden. So we had
Okay.
a party this weekend for my granddaughter's birthday, and everybody brought veggies. I mean, I had zucchini all over the place. We used props.
Oh, yeah.
For the party, which was a pasta party.
Ah.
That's fun. Good time. I'll show you pictures. The word for the week will be either liberty and justice for all, or, since it's 4th of July, let freedom ring. Which one do you think?
Let freedom ring.
Let freedom ring. Okay, so that's going to be our thing.
Are y'all going to participate in the
Absolutely.
parade on Saturday?
Yes, we'll be there.
I've got the Hummer and all the sound bar on top, and I've got a live mic, and I've got music on a. They've got an MP3 player that's about this big that just plays loops. That's all it does. And I'm not kidding you. It's this big. It's barely big enough to have buttons on. And all it does is loops, and so they load it with music, and you just hit play, and it just loops. Plug it into the sound system. So I've got a mixer board in there in the middle of the seat, and a microphone, speakers on the top, a gas generator on the top with everything plugged into it.
Nice.
So we'll have some music. My wife.
I'm gonna hold a sign. David, we're gonna be on the motorcycle with the
Hello.
with the big flag.
Hello.
Are we on?
No, but I got Bob. Bob, can you hear me now? I can't hear anything. All right, call back.
So yeah, we're gonna take two motorcycles, and they're both have their flags on the back, and I'm gonna hold a sign
Great.
that says "Let freedom ring."
Can you hear me now?
Nope.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Probably got another call. So, 4th of July.
Sorry I missed your call. Please leave a message and I'll call you.
No feature anything. Probably have a 4th of July sale starting Saturday. 50% off cigars, premium type tobacco, accessories, CBD. Okay? And we'll just do 15% across the board. Oh, that guy came in for his.
Hello?
dog head.
Can you hear me now? I'm getting nothing. Let me see. I got my volume all the way up. I can't hear a thing.
5 boxes in it. Just
I got nothing. Hello? Can you hear me now? I'm getting nothing, Bob. Cannot hear you. Cannot hear you.
throwing those hundreds down. Oh, right.
Try this again. Can you hear me now? Hold on. Are you there?
Yep.
All right, good. We're good. We're hooked.
Yep. I got you. I can hear you.
All right. About 20 seconds behind still?
Yeah, we're in our break, so we've got, by my clock, I've got about a minute and a half.
Okay.
And then you've got your intro music, so when you're in when we're in the intro music, I'll give you the cue.
All right. When you cue me, do you want me on right away, or do I delay?
I'll cue you. I'll tell you when I'll tell you when you get about 30 seconds until the music ends.
And then I'll wait about, what, 10 seconds?
About 15 seconds should be fine.
Okay.
And then I'll wait about 10 seconds. Today, our high temperature in the mid-90s with gusty south winds in Bandera and Stonewall. The nights low in the upper 60s. And 49 again on Friday with a high 95s. Friday nights low near 70. Upper 90s on the 4th of July. So I give you all the dance holiday. Hill Country Patriot. He's a native Texan. Resident of the Fredericksburg Tea Party. A student of the Franklin and John. And he's a Christian conservative political activist. He's a true believer in the principles that this country was founded upon. All right, Matt. 30 seconds. Every day to guide, advise, and continue to become involved in the greatest political experiment in the history of our planet.
Good morning, folks. So happy to be here with you on another Thursday morning. We're live at Tejas Smoke Depot this morning. Still working on our practices for going to Houston. Still very excited about that. In a week and a half from now, I hope to be in Houston at the Texas Grand Old Party Republican Party State Convention. Looking forward to that. I have some news on that coming up after we get through the calendar. Early voting starts. Early voting. If you haven't gone out and voted, if you're in Kerr County, you've got two important races over there in the Republican primary runoff. This is the Republican primary runoff. Anybody can vote in that except those who voted in the Democrat primary. If you voted in the Republican primary or didn't vote in the Democrat primary or didn't vote at all, you may go vote in the Republican primary runoff. In Kerr County, you've got, you just heard, if you were listening to Harley, there was Eli Garcia was just on with Harley, and yesterday on the Matt Long Show we had Larry Letha on yesterday, and so you've had some opportunities to hear these guys on Hill Country Patriot, and thank you for Harley for bringing you those candidates, and we do it again on this show. Also, State Board of Education, position number 5. We've been talking about that, I'm telling you, ad nauseum. This is so important that you go vote for this, and if you're in Gillespie County, that's the only thing on the ballot. In the runoff, in the Republican primary runoff. Democrat runoff, I have no idea what they're going on, don't care. We're here to talk about the Republican primary runoff The Lanny Pope is running for State Board of Education, position number 5. This is so very, very, very important. Her competitor in that race is worthless, no good, slimy person. Just go check out his Facebook page, and you'll see. That's all it's going to take. Do a little background, a little research. 5 minutes on your DuckDuckGo machine or your Google machine, and you'll just find out pretty much how lousy this guy is. And he's not even running a serious campaign, and yet he's gotten so many votes. And it's just blows my mind that this is coming out of Republican voters, and so sad for me to hear. So anyway, Lonnie Pope, P-O-P-P. Make sure in Gillespie County that is the only thing on your ballot. Please, please go in and vote for Lonnie Pope. That is so important. All right, the Kitty Parade. So excited to announce something that's not being canceled. The 40th Annual Kitty Parade in Fredericksburg, sponsored by the VFW this Saturday morning. Make sure you're up at Marktplatz at about 7:45 in the morning. Those kids are already going to be up. You're going to have them full of Fruit Loops and Captain Crunch. So dress them up in their best 4th of July outfits, patriotic outfit. Decorate a bike, decorate a wagon, decorate your baby, whatever you want to do, but show up at 7:45. You do not have to pre-register. It doesn't cost a thing. The children are going to parade around Marktplatz, and so it's going to be a great morning, and that is this Saturday, the Kitty Parade. It ought to be a blast, and like I said, they got tons of prizes, so that makes it really fun. Here's your chance to get a ribbon and maybe a cash. Get some cash. I think they got some gift cards they're going to be giving away to the best decorated kids, etc., etc. The 4th of July slow cruise down Main Street in Fredericksburg. Lots of people excited about this one. It is the official 4th of July parade in Fredericksburg. The city canceled our parade, but we had some veterans. I'm not sure who decided to put this on, but a fellow named Ken Greer, a veteran, was on the program last week, is kind of heading this up. I'm not in charge of this, so I'm just passing on the information. The parade, our official slow cruise down Main Street is going to start at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning, and we're going to meet at Bell's parking lot down there on the east end of town. And so I'm planning on being there about around 9:30. I'm going to have the Hill Country Patriot Hummer, red, white, and blue, with the music ready to go. So we're going to have a good time. I've already talked to several motorcycle riders. Jody and Dave are going to be down there on their motorcycles. And I know I have invited and spoke with the Bikers for Christ here in town. Hopefully I'm going to get them to show up. Chuck, if you're listening, you guys get it in gear. We'll see y'all on Saturday morning. Should be a whole lot of fun. And I've had a lot of requests for people to ride in the Hummer. Show up down there. The Hummer is reserved, but go ahead and show up down there, and we'll see how much room we got in there. So anyway, that is Saturday, the slow cruise. So what's going on with the in Houston with the Republican convention? The announcement's going to be made tonight at 7:30. 7:30 tonight at texasgop.me/YouTube. So this is a YouTube channel for the Texas GOP. texasgop.me. If you have a streaming device on your TV at home, you probably have YouTube on there, and you can probably watch this on your TV or your computer or your phone. I'm not sure what they're going to do. I'm hearing rumors. I got a phone call just a few minutes ago. Some talk show hosts in Houston are discussing that it's very possible that that the city of Houston and Harris County are going to try to come in at the last minute and cancel the Republican convention. So that is all rumor. You heard it, rumor. The real story will be tonight at 7:30, texasgop.me/YouTube. tejas.me on the YouTube channel. So go check them out over there. Folks, we're going to take a break. I will be right back.
Okay, so, Grover, you're a very loyal listener, our customer.
Excellent. Okay.
Wants large t-shirts.
All right, large. I got it. All right.
I think it's written in the memo.
Oh, yeah, it's written in the memo. It's written on his
Oh,
memo.
okay. All right.
Let's check.
All right. Got it.
Better make sure they're extra
All right.
large and not extra large. What's it
Wow,
say?
good for
Oh,
him.
extra
large T-shirts.
Okay, so
All
we'll
right,
get
sweet. And
extra
there's his address. Oh man, Grover, thank you. That's awesome.
Make sure
That
it's extra
is-
large. Not
All right. Yes, got it on there. X large T-shirts. Got it.
Okay. Oh, we should know what it means. Is there anybody in the pot? Today, in the week. Who is it?
Morning.
Jim's the winner.
Believe we are on break right now. 9:15. This is Jeff Peterson, Jody, and John. Jeff's going to be going to Houston with me. He is a videographer, does documentaries. A neighbor, does documentaries, does his best. So he was coming down to see what equipment I have today. Next Thursday, we're going to use his equipment in here.
Okay.
He has apparently has a little black box that will give us a really strong signal.
Much easier than carrying a computer around.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There you go. So we're going to play with...
Tinier every
I know.
millennial.
And this is a little mixer that I carry on my waist.
Good Lord, look at that.
Plug in, lots of microphones, lots of options.
All right.
These are all
Okay.
XLR inputs.
All right. Sweet. Well, here's my $25 mic that everybody at the studio says is the best sounding mic they've ever heard on remote. Anyway, they said that mic sounds so good. Where'd you get that? Walmart. $25. Okay. So it'll probably work till about halfway through Houston, and
Yeah.
all right, here we go. We're getting close to coming back on. Jody, you're going to be up first. So I'll put the mic here. And,
30 seconds, Matt.
all right.
And then don't forget you have a delay.
That's right.
My cheat sheet here.
All right, folks, we are back. We are live this morning at Tejas Smoke Depot, and as we have been for the last few Thursdays, except for 3 weeks ago when I got up out of bed, forgot it was Thursday, drove down to the studio, and everybody looked at me and said, "What are you doing here?" But so I have remembered to ever since then. That's good. And so we're going to have one more Thursday after this one. We'll be down here next Thursday as well, trying out some different equipment. But I have Jody Gould, who is the owner, operator, proprietor. I just love that word. Proprietor makes you sound so important. And she's got her children down here. It's called slave labor in most other countries, but we call it family labor here in the United States. Jody, welcome to the Matt Long Show.
Good morning, Matt. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine. Were y'all? Oh, by the way, Jody just handed me a check, and it is very, very cool. Grover, I know you're listening. Grover, thank you so much. Very, very muchly appreciated. And Grover's going to get some extra large T-shirts, and he left his check here for me. Thank you, Grover. You need to come in sometime, Grover, when I'm here, and we can visit on the air. So, Jody, what's going on? You got some specials?
Yeah, well, as you know, it's a 4th of July celebration this month. It's the 244th year birthday of our
Country?
country,
Oh man,
is that
don't put
right?
me on the spot. I'll have to
Okay,
get
I
my
think that's what I
calculator
heard.
out. Okay.
And you know, in our family, we have birthday months, not
Okay.
just days or weeks. We have months, and so we're probably going to be running specials throughout the month.
Great.
This week we're going to be running a 2-day sale on all of our premium cigars, our premium pipe tobaccos, accessories, and CBD products, 15% off. And of course, you know, we're always willing to move those numbers around depending on what you buy and how much you buy. And we, of course, you know, we have the phrase that pays every
What
week.
is? Yeah, the phrase that pays. Let's put it in good DJ voice. The phrase that
The
pays.
phrase that pays this week is
Week
going
is-
to be "Let Freedom Ring."
Let freedom ring. Did you hear that, folks? Let freedom ring. So you come into the store, you pick out your fine cigars in the humidor, take a look around, grab yourself a Mountain Dew, a cold beer, maybe y'all got some snacks over there. Do y'all have honey buns?
We do.
Honey buns. Man, honey buns and a Dr. Pepper, that is like
Yeah.
childhood memories, let me tell you.
Wow.
So, and then when you get up to the cash register, you say, Jody, you sound great on the radio. And the phrase that pays is,
Let freedom ring.
let freedom ring. So there we go. And then you'll get a discount, and your name will get put into a hat for a monthly drawing.
Speaking of the monthly drawing, this is the beginning of the month, and we pulled the only name in the pot this month. So come on, people, listen to this show, mention, you know, the phrase that pays, and you get in the drawing. But this week's winner is Jim Moore. You get a gift certificate. Come on by and pick up your gift certificate. And probably running out of time here, so I just want to say happy birthday to our nation, and happy belated birthday to Lorraine.
Yeah.
Who's probably still celebrating.
She was doing birthday week this year, but
Yeah.
after it was over, she decided she was going to go to birthday month next
See,
year.
that's
So
the way
see,
we
there
do
we
it.
go.
So I knew
birthday
I liked that
month.
girl.
That's right. In fact, we went to her house on Saturday night. Had a just amazing food and a really good time. So Jody, we're going to be talking about this, but the city of Fredericksburg has just put down some more draconian orders that if you go into a business in Fredericksburg, the business owner has to play a law enforcement officer and kick you out of their business if you're not wearing a mask. And we're gonna talk about that in a minute. But Jody, that does not affect you, does it?
No, sir, it hasn't yet. I don't require anybody to wear a mask. We don't wear masks ourselves. Of course, we have a drive-through window.
That's
if
right.
anybody's uncomfortable about contact, and so of course, you know, you can bring your own pen if you have to sign that little piece of paper.
There
if
you
you're
go.
You know, for your purchases. But no mask required. No shirt, no shoes.
All right, there you go. Oh, we can come in here topless. That's
There
it.
you
I'm
go.
taking off my shirt right now. So yeah, come on down to Tejas Smoke Depot where Matt is taking off his shirt and his shoes to honor the mask requirements in the city of Fredericksburg. Jody, thank you so very much.
You're welcome, Matt.
Thank you for your constant support.
Oh, you're
I really
welcome.
do. I really mean that. And so, in fact, one of Jody's grandchildren made us a Hill Country Patriot poster flyer in the window. It is so cool. I'm going to get a picture of it today before I leave and make sure we get it up onto the Hill Country
And he
Patriot.
still wants paid for that.
And he wants paid?
He wants
All right,
paid.
has he given us a bill? How much does he want? Can we pay him in T-shirts?
Maybe so. That might
Maybe
be a
so.
good
We
idea.
can. All right, we might be paying our artist. What's the artist's name?
Wesson Gould.
Wesson Gould. Wesson, thank you very much. It's awesome. We'll see about getting you some kind of pay. How old is Wesson?
Wesson's 10.
Wesson's 10, already a capitalist. Woohoo! There we go. Isn't this a great country we live in? All right, let's go ahead and talk about, Jody, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mike.
Let's go ahead and talk about what's happening in Fredericksburg. It is going to be official on Monday, but the city council, or maybe it was just our mayor, has said that mandatory face coverings now in effect. And here's the thing that really bothers me about this, and that we spoke about in the last few days. This idea that the city, county, or whoever's making this order, whether it be in San Antonio or in Fredericksburg, that rather than putting it onto the police to enforce this, which everybody knows would be extremely difficult, and would be crazy, plus taking police off of where they should be taking care of business. What they've done then, the city and the counties that are doing this have said, oh, we'll just push this off onto the store owners. We'll make them a bad guy. And so the order that came down from the city of Fredericksburg was that when you that every business must have some kind of plan, not only for their customers but for their employees, that shows that they're doing that they're requiring masks on everybody that comes in and on their employees. And so this is and so what that does is it puts the enforcement of this rule into the hands of store owners. All right, so we've had several people have asked me over the last few days, what can we do about this? What can we do about this? Well, in the short, immediate answer, unless you're a store owner, if you don't own a store in the city of Fredericksburg, you really don't have much standing. And so the short, sad answer on this is that there really isn't much of anything you can do as a citizen of Fredericksburg. You can make noise, but as far as changing their minds, the only people that can change their minds on this or make a difference is going to be your city council or the mayor. Give them a call. You've got your city council members. They're easy to find. Give them a call. Absolutely be polite, but call them and tell them your feelings. It may help if you kind of write down what you're going to say in case you get nervous on the telephone. But don't make it long. Make it a 30 seconds long. Tell them why you object to this. Don't make any threats. Don't just be polite. Listen, the reason we're seeing the anarchy on the streets we're seeing in so many places is that those are people who think that burning a place down is getting your voice heard. We know as conservatives, we know that that is not how you get your voice heard. You get your voice heard by being polite, by speaking to people with respect. You don't get someone to listen to you by burning their house down or congregating in their front yard. So if you're concerned about this, call our new mayor. I think he's I don't know if he's Mayor Pro Tem. He is but he is the mayor right now, Mayor Neffendorf. Call him, call his office, call the city council members. They can change this, folks. They can rescind this overnight. It's not like it's, as quickly as they put that up, they can bring it now. If you're a business owner, things are a little bit different. If you are a business owner, you have standing in this. You can challenge this. I am not a lawyer. But you can get a lawyer. You can find a lawyer. In fact, I have got a text this morning from a lawyer I know that works in Austin and said, if you need help finding someone to represent you on this, this gentleman will help. So his name is Tom Glass. Tom Glass has offered to help find legal help for any businesses in the Fredericksburg that want to challenge this. So I can put you in touch with Tom, and if you want to challenge this. But there's a couple of things you can do as a business owner. You can challenge this in a legal manner. I don't know how it works, but you could get an injunction to pause that order and until it gets until they check it all out. That's one thing you can do as a business owner. Another thing you can do as a business owner is very simply resist. Just don't do it. Don't put the sign up in your window, or don't enforce it. That is something you can do as a business. Now, you have to accept the consequences of that. But the founders of our country, the people who fought, bled, and died for us, they understood completely the consequences when they stood up against the most powerful most powerful country ever on the planet Earth, and a ragtag band of farmers and folks got together and they decided to resist. Folks, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Matt Long Show on Hill Country Patriot Radio. Hello, sir.
Come on, Matt.
Is that good?
1 minute, minute and a half, about 3 minutes.
All right.
And our delay seems to be just around 25 to maybe 30 seconds.
All right.
All right. Hey, Matt,
Yes.
did you see that HEB is now requiring masks for everybody?
Yeah, I'm sure they are in Fredericksburg. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
No, it's everywhere.
Oh, all of the HEBs? Okay.
So that's what I read this morning. If you want to go in, you got to wear a face mask.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure they are in Fredericksburg. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Oh, all the HEBs? Okay. Okay.
So 30 seconds before I start, or go ahead? All right, folks, we are back. You're listening to the Matt Long Show on Hill Country Patriot Radio, and we are practicing our live remotes. You know, I'm new at this radio stuff, and we've thrown together some equipment. Ken gave us a great laptop to use, and with one of our sponsors, got myself a sweet little microphone. and we're trying different ways of streaming the audio so that we can get it onto the radio. So be patient with us. If our stream drops or if something happens, that's why we're here practicing, and we'll practice again next Thursday, and we are live at Tejas Smoke Depot. So mask wearing, what can you do? As a business owner, back to what in Fredericksburg, as a business owner, you can resist. You can try to get an injunction. That means hiring a lawyer and maybe get this stopped. Or you can simply resist, but be ready to take the consequences of resisting. Now, my prediction, when all of the dust settles on this and we start seeing lawsuits being brought against cities, against counties, against the state, I think there's going to be one of a couple of things that could possibly happen. There could be some kind of immunity that is granted to the cities and states, and that would have to come from legislation. So probably in the next session, it wouldn't surprise me if cities and counties were looking for immunity from lawsuits. I'm not sure where I would stand on that. I think they have to be held accountable, and yet when you sue the city or the county or the state, who's paying for it? Certainly not the city, the county, or the state, because they get their money out of your pocket. So I'm not sure where I stand on that, and I'm going to be open to thinking about that and running through it. You know, you don't always have to know exactly where you stand at every moment. You're allowed to think about things, use your wisdom, see what's going on. So I don't think the police should be enforcing mask wearing. I think that's silly. The police, I think they've got better things to do. Don't you think? They got better things to do? And listen, here's what it comes down to, and I have made this point before, and I'm telling you, I get some very, very strange looks, but follow me on this. Every single law, from your speeding law to rolling through right on a red without completely stopping, to trespassing, to murder, to every single law we have on the books is ultimately enforced how? By a police officer. And how does a police officer enforce if you don't go willingly with them? At a point of the gun. At the point of the gun. So every law eventually will be resolved at the point of a gun. That's how it works. That's what law enforcement is. And so if you've got warrants out for your arrest and you get pulled over and they say, all right, get out of the car, and you say, I don't think I'm going to get out of the car, at some point that weapon will be drawn. Every law eventually is enforced at the point of a gun. That's how laws work. And so, are you ready? Let me ask you this question. Is society ready to kill someone for not wearing a mask? Because a law enforcement officer that gun is the ultimate, is the very end, that's their last resort to enforcing a law, is pulling the weapon. So are you ready as a society? Are we ready to kill someone for not wearing a mask? I know that sounds crazy, but we've got a couple of stories. We can talk about Sandra Bland. Remember Sandra Bland? She was driving on her way home. Let's see, how does this story go? Sandra Bland was on her way to a grocery store when she was pulled over by a DPS trooper for failure to signal a lane change. All right, okay. After refusing to put out a lit cigarette that she was smoking. All right, so she's sitting in her car. She made an illegal lane change without using her signal, heaven forbid, and was smoking a cigarette in her car, in her castle, and the trooper opened her door and threatened to pull her out if she didn't put her cigarette out. All right? She was eventually arrested, taken to the Waller County Jail, where 3 days later she was found dead in her jail from suicide. Now, I imagine there's a whole lot more to that story, but where did this story start? It started with an illegal lane change, and then it went to put your cigarette out, and then it went to get out of the car. All of this was eventually, the lane change was enforced by the point of a gun, and it cost her her life. Now, I imagine that Sandra had a lot of other things going on in her life. if she was ready to kill herself after 3 days in jail, she probably had a whole lot more going on in her life. What about, oh yeah, remember the guy selling Lucy's? Eric Garner. All right, here's a guy. Petty misdemeanor. It's still illegal in New York to sell single cigarettes. Can we sell single cigarettes in Texas, Jody? No, it's against the law in Texas to sell single cigarettes too. Hey, Ward.
What the heck you doing now?
Man, on the air. You're live on the Hill Country Patriot. Getting yourself a cigar?
I'm gonna.
All right, there we go. So, so Eric Garner is selling Lucy's. Is it illegal? Sure, he's on the street corner selling loose cigarettes. How was that law eventually enforced? With a chokehold on Eric Garner. Can you bet that there was a weapon drawn by at least one of the officers? You bet. My point is, every law eventually comes down to being enforced at gunpoint. You don't believe me? Don't pay your federal income tax. Wait 3 or 4 or 5 years. Wait till they come knocking on the door and they say, we're going to take your house. You haven't paid your income taxes for 5 years. Folks, it all comes down to the point of a gun. And so let's go back. Face masks. Are you really willing to kill somebody? Is society really ready to kill someone over a face mask? I know it sounds silly, but that's where we're at. And Sandra Bland and Eric Garner are good examples of people that did something almost completely harmless. It was against the law, but they ended up dying because of it. And so this is where we're at. So these face coverings, I think this mandatory face covering thing, eventually, when the dust settles, I think we're going to find out that there is not going to be the ability for the state or the city or the county to order that. Our governor and our city council and our county commissioners and our county judges, what we need to do is be given information that we can believe and trust, and then we get to make a decision as grown-ass adults as to what we're going to do with that information. And so they need to start trusting us. That's what this country is all about. Self-governance. And every time we have laws like this, self-governance is what the issue is. It comes down to self-governance. I'm finding a lot of people getting upset these days over this, and it's kind of fascinating because I started going through a list of laws that were incrementally digging in on us as citizens, but we kept letting each one go by. When they decided years ago that you weren't going to be allowed to smoke in a restaurant, we all said, oh, well, that's okay, because we know secondhand smoke's really bad for you. And so we didn't say anything. We didn't stand up. We did not say that, folks, if you want people to smoke in your restaurant, have a smoking restaurant. If you don't want smoking in your restaurant, have a no-smoking restaurant. Customers will choose where they want to go. But it was mandated, all restaurants. And we didn't really fight that. We said, oh, okay, it's for the good of everybody. What about seatbelt laws? Everybody's got to wear a seatbelt. And nobody stood up and tried to fight that very hard. We said, oh, okay, you're right. Make me wear that belt when I get in my car. I know it's safer. It'll save lives. Helmet laws. What about helmet laws? Motorcycle helmet laws. So where did you stand on motorcycle helmet laws? And so all of these little laws over the years, where did you stand when the law came out that said your kids can't ride in the front seat of the car? I'm sure there are a lot of parents out there with more than one child who said, well, there you go, that solves the shotgun game that you play, right? And so there are probably a lot of parents that's saying, all right, well, we don't have to settle this because nobody gets to ride in the front seat. Did you say anything to them about your liberties, or did you say, oh, no, it's good, we got to let kids put them in the back? It's for the children. We got to save the children. What about when they made you put the baby carrier in your car? Oh, and then they changed that and they turned it around so that the baby carrier has to face the back. All these little incursions on our liberty, and at each one of them, each one of us made a decision as to whether or not we were going to fight it. We haven't stood up to any of these little laws. And so here we are, finally one that you don't like, the masks. It affects you, and you're upset. Folks, they've been taking our rights away incrementally for years. And so now when you stand up and try to, fight them on this one, what are they going to say? What can you say? Folks, we'll be right back. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about gun sales.
You know,
We're
boy that got killed
30 seconds.
in Seattle. The parents were on candy last night.
Mm.
You know.
All right, folks, we are back. It's the fourth quarter. We are live at Tejas Smoke Depot. We've been talking about face masks, the mandatory the mandatory in Fredericksburg, where we live now for all businesses. So the police don't have to enforce it. The business owner has to be the enforcer of the law. That's a cheap way out, if you ask me. There we go. Gun sales continue to soar. Texas sets another record for background checks. By the way, here's another reason I've been telling folks for a long time, especially those going with me up to the Capitol starting in January, that if you have your LTC, your license to carry, that you have a quick way into the Capitol. You do not have to stand in security lines. So I've been telling everybody that's planning on going to Austin with us in January to please get your TLC. We've been up at the Capitol times where the getting through security may have taken 30, 45 minutes, but if you have your TLC, you just cruise right through. So here's another advantage of having your TLC, that when you go to purchase a firearm in Texas and you have your TLC, you know what they don't have to do? They don't have to run a background check on you. In fact, you can walk into the store with your TLC, purchase your firearm, and leave. Now, if you don't have a TLC, you have to go through that process of getting that approval. Now, a couple of years ago or in the past, that approval has happened in half an hour or even less. Generally, you would go in, apply, fill out the paperwork, and go eat lunch and come back, and you would have your approval. That over the years has changed. At one point, we were forced to wait 3 days. That went away. Now the only thing that keeps you from getting 30 minutes is everything's jammed. Because it has to go to the FBI National Instant Criminal Background Check System, the NICS, and there are so many people buying guns right now that is all jammed up. So let's see. Let's give you some numbers. I think numbers on the radio are almost kind of silly. But here we go. Let's see. Last month through June, 227,000 checks. 227,000 checks. So a little less than 250,000 checks in June for a background check to purchase a firearm. That is the fourth highest record. And when was the third highest record? In March. All right, in March. And the other two records were in 2012, right after the Obama second election, and in 2014. And so here we go. So compare that to, say, last year at this time. That is almost double. I believe the monthly average in the state of Texas is somewhere around 123,000 checks is the average. The numbers go down in the summer, so June would normally be a lower month on the state average. So June would normally be below 123,000. Now it is almost double that. So folks are going out getting armed. I have several friends who purchase firearms and ammo on a very regular basis, and they're telling me right now that ammo is really, really hard to find. In fact, Chuck told me yesterday that bulk ammo is pretty much gone now. So if you're buying ammo, you're buying it in small boxes, essentially at retail prices, which makes it very expensive. So, but that's going on. People are buying guns. Gosh, I wonder why. Do you have any idea, Jody, why people might be buying guns right now? I know it's a mystery wrapped in an enigma covered in secret sauce. But anyway, there you go. If you're trying to buy a weapon or ammo right now, it's very, very difficult. But again, you have your LTC, your license to carry. You don't need that background check, and so you can purchase a weapon without that. So here we go. Las Zetas, another reason to stay armed in the state of Texas. Las Zetas cartel has left a message in the United States. They have left a message. This is from Breitbart.com. This story was written yesterday by Jason Jones, and it says, Border Patrol agents, while responding to a large drug load crossing into the U.S., discovered a message from Las Zetas cartel over the past weekend. Rio Grande City, Texas is a small community in Starr County situated on the border with Mexico. The area is documented as being under the control of the Gulf Cartel. Did you hear that? Due to the small cartel-controlled community of Camargo directly across the Rio Grande. So this area in Texas is considered to be under the control of the Gulf Cartel in the state of Texas. Now, Breitbart put a picture of this, and basically what they did was tag the road outside of Rio Grande City. They put their tag on the road. That tag marks their territory. It is essentially their do not trespass, private property sign is what it essentially is. It's like in any city when a gang tags a neighborhood, that's a signal to other gangs that this is our area, we have control of this area, do not enter this area, stay out of this area, or you will pay the consequences. We're very familiar with tagging in the city. Now one of our streets has been tagged by Los Zetas cartel down in Rio Grande City. Folks on the border, do you not own your firearms yet? Man, whoo, that is scary. So there we go. That is what's going on in the border. By the way, June 11th, a few miles from where the message was placed, there were guys out working on the border wall, and they were being shot at. From Mexico. They were being shot at from Mexico. And so, folks, we don't even have control of the border. People can just shoot across it. People can come across and claim U.S. territory as theirs. Maybe we need to get the mayor of Seattle down to, the mayor of Seattle down to Rio Grande City in Texas, and she can help them form a summer of peace down there with the Los Zetas cartel. And I think that's a good idea, because I'm sure she could get them to dismantle their state that they have down there. So they have tagged portions of the United States. They're claiming it as their own. No different than Chopper Chaz. This time it's just a foreign entity, a foreign criminal entity. In fact, Los Zetas is one of the most vicious cartels in Mexico, and so now they have a corner of our country. All these things are scary. What can you do? What can you do? Those are the questions I keep getting. What can I do, Matt? And the answer, I'm sorry, the answer is nothing in the short term. There's very little that you can get done in the short term. If you want quick solutions, there are no quick solutions when it comes to governance. In fact, you don't want quick solutions when it comes to self-governance. But this does just remind us, what we're going through now reminds us how important your city council is, your county commissioners. We now realize how important that is because, it's not President Trump that's commanding masks to be worn or shutting down restaurants. It's I started to say it's not even Governor Abbott, but it is Governor Abbott. Now, at first, he wasn't doing that. But Abbott has turned on us. He has now shut down bars. He has shut down so many businesses. Tubing, yes, it's now against the law for you to go tubing. Actually, I think you can go tubing, but it's just against the law for them, the tubing companies, to rent you tubes, et cetera, et cetera. None of this makes any sense. This is not equal application of the law. It's not. It is unconstitutional. When there's a law, it applies to everyone. When you create a law, you don't create a law that only punishes certain people and not others. All right? In Lincoln County, Oregon, last week, they passed a law in Lincoln County, Oregon, a mask law in Lincoln County, Oregon, and they excluded, they said, however, this law does not apply to people of color. Seriously, look it up. Lincoln County passed a mask law, but only for white people. People of color don't have to wear a mask.
That's racist, right?
That's racist. That's straight up racist. In fact, I would say that it sounds like white privilege. It sounds like they want to protect all the white people and make the black people get sick is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
This is not how laws work. If you're going to shut down businesses, you shut them all. And yes, that includes H-E-B and Walmart. You shut them all down, or you leave them all open. Folks, this is going to get worked out in courts, I promise you. It may take 2 or 3 or 4 years, but the courts will straighten this out, and we'll see where it ends up. We hope that the courts come down on the side of freedom and liberty, but we won't know until all this washes out. And so that's where we're at. So what can you do right now? You can make your voice heard. You can call the mayor. You can get a hold of the city council members. You can get a hold of your county commissioners if they've done anything. Good luck. I hear that. Yeah, I know. And boy, when they want your vote and it's election time, boy, they answer that phone all the time, don't they, Jody? But no, right now, I bet you they're not answering their phone very much. So that's what you can do. But in the long run, now you know how important it is in your local elections that people have a direct effect on your daily life, are right here local. They're not in Austin. They're not in Washington, D.C., and yet you know what I always say when I talk about local elections. That's where our lowest voter turnout is. Our lowest voter turnout. In some counties in the state of Texas, local elections, 3 or 4% show up. Kerr County, Kerrville has a high local participation. Hats off to you. Fredericksburg has about 10% show up in local elections. This is how important it is. This is how important it is. Folks, I have a very, very special prayer request today. Our good friend of the Fredericksburg Tea Party and good friend of the Hill Country, Jerry. Jerry got a little bit of a fever a few days ago, went to the hospital. He's an elder gentleman. He's lived a very, he's a hard-working guy, still working to this day. And he went in with a fever, not feeling so good. A couple of days he was feeling better. He took a turn for the worst yesterday and was rushed to emergency room. So, folks, you know Jerry. He leads our prayers at our Tea Party meetings, and he also leads the salute to the flags. And so, please, extra special prayers for Jerry. Stop today a couple of times and pray for Jerry and his wife Judy. Pray for Jerry and Judy. Folks, we'll see you tomorrow.